This is not just gossip. This is not just another messy love and hip-hop storyline. What I'm about to tell you could shatter the foundation of Harlem's most famous hip-hop couple and drag Jim Jones into a nightmare he never thought would reach the public eye. For years, Cam'ron and Chrissy Lampkin's relationship with Jim Jones has been under the microscope. But tonight, everything changes. Because Cam'ron, in a move nobody saw coming, has finally opened his mouth about Chrissy's darkest, most forbidden secret, and it's a secret so explosive, so intimate, that Jim Jones himself was reportedly left in tears after hearing words. It behind closed doors, this secret has been whispered about in industry circles, buried under layers of silence and treated like the ticking time bomb nobody dared touch. But now Cam'ron just lit the fuse. And when I tell you the fallout is uglier, dirtier, and more dramatic than anything Harlem has seen in years, believe me, you have no idea how deep this goes. From leaked text messages to late-night studio confrontations to industry insiders who are now breaking their silence. We're diving into a scandal that has the power to end friendships, destroy love, and flip alliances on their heads, and trust. The final twist in this story is darker than anything you're imagining right now. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more shocking it gets. The whispers didn't just appear out of nowhere. They began like faint echoes in Harlem, barbershops, low murmurs at backstage dressing rooms, and side conversations between industry veterans who knew better than to say too much. For years, Chrissy Lampkin's name had been tied to glamour, loyalty, and unshakable devotion to Jim Jones. She was the ride or die, the woman who held him down when the world seemed set on breaking him apart. But in the hidden corners of the music industry, whispers carried a darker narrative, a secret people swore would destroy everything if it ever got out. And then Cam'ron, a man who thrives on theatrics and thrives even more on settling old scores, decided the world was finally ready to hear it. It happened in a studio lounge. It's a kind of place where beats boom late into the night, smoke curls into dim lights, and secrets are shared between sips of Hennessy. Cam'ron was surrounded by a small circle of confidants when he let the word slip. Someone had been recording. No one knows who leaked it first, but the audio spread like wildfire. You hear Cam's unmistakable voice, cool and venomous, dropping a bomb with surgical precision. Chrissy's got secrets. And I ain't talking about no shopping trips. Ask Jim why his queen don't sleep at night. That clip landed on Twitter like a meteor strike. Within minutes, hashtags ignited. Hashtag Chris SYS secret. Hashtag Jim in tears. Hashtag Cam exposes Chrissy. What followed was social media chaos. Fans dissected every word. Influencers weighed in, and gossip bloggers scrambled for angles. Some dismissed it as Cam stirring, old beef. Others insisted this was the beginning of the end. Then came the screenshots, allegedly leaked from a burner account connected to someone in Chrissy's inner circle. The images showed late-night conversations riddled with half-erased messages, blurred out names, and one phrase that made stomachs drop. Don't tell Jim, he can't handle it. It was vague enough to spark questions, but damning enough to fuel suspicion. Every blog from Hollywood Unlocked to The Shade Room was foaming at the mouth, and that's when Jim Jones himself entered the picture. For days, Jim remained silent, a move that only poured gasoline on the fire. His silence was interpreted as confirmation, and social media analysts, yes, people appointed themselves as detectives, began combing through his recent live streams and posts, hunting for cracks in his demeanor. Then, during an Instagram live that drew nearly 100,000 viewers, Jim's mask slipped. A fan dropped a comment, asked Chrissy about the secret Cam'ron exposed. Jim's face, usually so steady, crumbled for just a second. His eyes shifted, away from the camera, his lips tightened, and his voice wavered as he said, "Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Stop playing with me." But the tears came seconds later. Jim's voice cracked, and he quickly ended the live. Screenshots captured his watery eyes. Clips went viral. Fans flooded Twitter. Jim knows it's true. It's broken. Cam just destroyed 20 years in one sentence. And the industry insiders weren't done. A former Dipset affiliate hiding behind anonymity stepped forward with claims that shook the entire narrative. In an interview with a low-level blog desperate for clout, the insider said, "This ain't new. People been knowing Chrissy had another side. Cam just the first to say it out loud." Okay. Jim knew, but he never wanted it out there. World knows. The story was spiraling. Allegations multiplied. Some said Chrissy had been involved with someone close to Jim. Others claimed her secret was tied to old industry parties. Nights whispered about, but never confirmed. Nights dripping. In scandal, where loyalty was tested and reputations destroyed. Cam's smirk in that leaked clip became a meme, plastered everywhere. His face the symbol of Harlem's messiest reckoning. Meanwhile, Chrissy herself remained silent. Her Instagram comments filled with daggers. What's the secret? Jim's? Crying over you? Is Cam? Lying? Or nah? For a woman who had built her persona on being unshakable, her silence screamed louder than any denial. Then came the second leak. This time, wasn't just a recording, it was a text thread allegedly between Chrissy and an unnamed industry executive. The messages were blurry, some redacted, but one line stood out like a slap. "What we did can never reach Jim. Cam is already suspicious." That line detonated across social media, fueling think pieces, YouTube breakdowns, and podcasts dedicated solely to unpacking the scandal. Jim Jones. Circle reportedly tried to contain it. Sources claimed he reached out privately to Cameron, begging him to stop fanning the flames. But Cam wasn't backing down. He doubled down in an interview snippet that surfaced 2 days later. "Don't come at me like I'm lying. No, I ain't never lied on Jim. He just ain't ready to hear the truth." And that's where things turned nuclear. Because fans began demanding answers directly from Chrissy. People swarmed her page, her brand endorsements, her every public move. Rumors surfaced that one sponsor quietly cut ties, unwilling to attach themselves to the scandal. And still, Chrissy said nothing. The silence became unbearable. At the same time, Jim's emotional unraveling was playing out in real time. Friends described him as broken and betrayed. One source claimed he spent nights drinking alone, replaying old memories, questioning everything. Another claimed Jim confronted Chrissy behind closed doors. And the fight was so explosive that neighbors reported hearing shouting late into the night. The internet caught fire with memes. But beneath the humor, there was an undeniable darkness. Harlem wasn't just gossiping. Harlem was watching its power couple implode. Cameron had struck the match, and now everyone was standing around the blaze, waiting for the next explosion. And then it happened. A third leak. This one was brutal. A voice note crackling and muffled, but clearly Chrissy's voice. In it, she said words that left even the most hardened fans in shock. "If Jim ever finds out the whole story, it's over for us. He'll never forgive me." The voice note spread like wildfire. Twitter Spaces ran for hours, dissecting every syllable. Fans played it over and over, parsing her tone, her fear, her confession. Jim's tears suddenly made sense. His silence wasn't denial, it was devastation. The industry responded with equal parts shock and glee. 50 Cent, never one to miss an opportunity, dropped a cryptic Instagram post. A laughing emoji with the caption, "Told y'all, Cam always had the real tea." Rap blogs began running speculative headlines. Chrissy's secret affair or something worse? Jim Jones at breaking point. By the end of that week, one thing was clear. Cameron had opened a box that would not be closed. Chrissy's secret was out there, half revealed, bleeding across the internet like wildfire. Jim's tears were Undeniable proof that the whispers weren't just gossip anymore, they were reality. But just when everyone thought the first insider bombshell came from a stylist who claimed to have worked with Chrissy during her early days in Harlem. On an anonymous podcast appearance, she dropped a revelation that twisted the scandal into new territory. Chrissy been living a double life. Jim ain't the only one she kept secrets from. She played the whole city. Cam just decided to expose it because he knew Harlem wasn't ready for the truth. The stylist insisted she had photos grainy black and white. Polaroids from old industry parties where Chrissy appeared in compromising situations. The podcasts blurred the images, but the descriptions were enough. Dimly lit rooms, Chrissy's unmistakable silhouette, and men no one could identify. The story hit social media like a torpedo. Fans began digging through Chrissy's past, unearthing old interviews and magazine spreads, hunting for inconsistencies. Within hours, TikTok sleuths uploaded side-by-side breakdowns, pointing out strange quotes and awkward pauses. One viral clip showed a 2012 interview where Chrissy was asked about loyalty in relationships. She smiled, paused, and said, "Loyalty is complicated." The pause became meme-worthy, replayed millions of times, captioned with, "Now we know why," and Jim Jones. He was spiraling. Word spread that he confronted Kamran directly in a heated phone call. According to a source, Jim begged him to stop dragging Chrissy, insisting, "This ain't about you and me. This is my life, my family." But Cam wasn't letting up. In fact, Cam allegedly laughed and told him, "It's bigger than family now. Harlem deserves the truth." That quote went viral within minutes. Harlem was divided, half siding with Jim, saying Cam was foul for airing dirty laundry, and the other half cheering Cam for being the only one real enough to say what others wouldn't. Then came the leak that nobody saw coming. Screenshots of what appeared to be Chrissy's private messages to a mysterious contact saved only as X. The messages were chilling in their bluntness. "I can't let Jim know. It will destroy him. He cries when I disappear. He doesn't understand. Cam is circling too close. We have to end this." The name X was never revealed, but the implications were deadly. Who was X? An old flame? A secret partner? Or something even darker tied to the industries? Most taboo rumors? The theories piled up, and so did the chaos. Twitter erupted into Ulat war. Hashtags like hashtag #WhoIsX and hashtag Chris's YS secret trended for days. Reddit threads filled with thousands of comments speculating on the identity of X. Some swore it was an industry executive. Others said a rapper from outside Dipset. And a smaller but louder group insisted it was a woman, something that added another layer of shock and intrigue. Meanwhile, Chrissy's silence grew deafening. She posted a single black square to Instagram with the caption, "Y'all don't know me? Stop playing with my name." The post backfired instantly. Instead of cooling the flames, it triggered a frenzy. Fans flooded her comments, demanding the truth. Bloggers dissected the choice of words. Why stop playing with my name instead of denying outright? Why cryptic instead of clear? Too many. Her silence was confirmation. The reactions from celebrities turned the scandal into a cultural earthquake. 50 Cent continued trolling with memes, including one of Jim crying with the caption, "Damn homie, Cam was the man homie," Cardi B chimed in with a cryptic tweet. "Sometimes the truth hurt, but y'all can't be shocked forever." Even Fat Joe weighed in during a live saying, "This Harlem situation got too personal. We talkin' about families. They need to handle that privately." But the damage was already done. Every voice added fuel. Every comment pushed the scandal further into the mainstream. And then came the biggest twist yet. A video surfaced late one night, dropped anonymously on Twitter. It appeared to show Chrissy in a heated argument with an unseen man. Her voice cracked with desperation. "You can't let Cam find out. You promised me. If Jim sees this, everything's over." Though the video was grainy and filmed through what looked like a cracked phone screen, the audio was unmistakable. The timing, the tone, the tarot was undeniably Chrissy. Fans went feral. The phrase, "if Jim sees this, everything's over," trended worldwide. Memes exploded, but so did serious discussions. What could Chrissy be hiding that would devastate Jim so deeply? What truth was Cam dangling over her head like a guillotine? Jim's meltdown soon followed. On another live stream, visibly intoxicated, he unleashed an emotional tirade. "I gave my life to this woman. I built with her. I fought for her. Now the street's laughing at me 'cause Cam think it's a joke." His voice cracked, his face red with anger and grief. At one point, he slammed his phone down and the live abruptly ended. Fans clipped every second, replaying it endlessly. By now, the scandal wasn't just a Harlem issue, it was a national obsession. Major outlets like TMZ and Page 6 picked it up, each headline more salacious than the last. YouTubers built careers off daily breakdowns. The streets were buzzing with one question: what is Chrissy's dark secret? And while the world demanded answers, Cameron stoked the fire with surgical precision. During a podcast appearance, he smirked and said, "Y'all ain't even heard the worst part yet. Trust me, the tapes ain't done." That single sentence detonated across the internet. Tapes? What tapes? Theories spread like wildfire. Some claimed Cam had recordings of Chrissy confessing. Others swore he had footage from the infamous Harlem parties of the early 2000s. The ones whispered about but never confirmed. Whatever it was, Cam had convinced the world that Chrissy's darkest secret hadn't even been revealed yet. Jim Jones' inner circle scrambled. According to insiders, friends begged him to walk away before things escalated further. But Jim was torn. His loyalty to Chrissy clashed violently with his humiliation in public. One insider claimed Jim can't let go, but he also can't live like this. Cam broke him in a way nobody else could. And as Harlem braced itself for the next revelation, Cam dropped one more cryptic line in an Instagram comment. "Check who Chrissy was really with when Jim was on tour. The streets." No. That single comment sent shockwaves across every platform. If true, it meant Chrissy's secret wasn't just about a hidden lifestyle, it was about betrayal at the core of her relationship with Jim. And just as the speculation reached a boiling point, a fourth leak surfaced, a mysterious folder of files, uploaded to an anonymous Dropbox link, allegedly containing everything Cam had promised. Within minutes, the link was deleted, but not before hundreds downloaded it. What they claimed to have seen would take this scandal from devastating to utterly catastrophic, because inside that folder was allegedly a video that could not be denied. A video that not only confirmed Chrissy's darkest secret, but also implicated someone shockingly close to Jim Jones himself. The world wasn't ready for this next revelation. Harlem wasn't ready. And Jim Jones, already in tears, was about to face the kind of betrayal that doesn't just end a relationship, destroys a legacy. The Dropbox leak was supposed to be a bluff, another stunt in Cameron's long history of Harlem mind games. But when that anonymous link appeared in the dead of night, a handful of die-hard fans clicked before it vanished. What they found inside sent shockwaves that tore through the culture like an earthquake. This wasn't just gossip anymore. This was evidence. The folder contained 3 files, 2 audio recordings, and 1 video. The first audio clip was muffled, recorded through a wall, but the voices were chillingly clear. Chrissy's unmistakable tone cut through. "He can never. No. If Jim finds out, it'll kill him. Do you want his blood on your hands?" The second voice, distorted but familiar, whispered back, "We're in too deep. He'll find out eventually." The second file, a phone call. Chrissy, again, panicked. "Cam knows. He's been watching me. You have to lay low." The other end remained quiet. But the weight of the pause said everything. But it was the third file of the video that detonated the internet. Grainy, shaky, clearly recorded years ago. It showed Chrissy in a dimly lit room, her back to the camera, seated far too close to a man whose identity became the scandal of the decade. At first, the silhouette was unclear. The angle was bad, the lighting worse. But then he turned his head slightly, and the collective gasp could be heard across the digital universe. It wasn't a stranger. It wasn't an executive. It wasn't even someone from outside the Dipset circle. Know this? Man was family. This man was tied to Jim Jones in a way that made betrayal feel like a dagger. The man sitting next to Chrissy, whispering into her ear, "Kss," leaning close in ways no one could mistake. Jim Jones himself was silent, dead silent. And in that silence, fans saw confirmation. His Instagram stories stayed blank, his Twitter dormant. His friends reported he shut himself off from everyone, drowning in pain that cameras couldn't capture. One insider told a blog, "I've never seen Jim like this. It's not just hurt, he's destroyed." Cam went too far. He knew this would break him, but Cam wasn't backing down. If anything, he leaned into the storm. He dropped a cryptic Instagram caption under an old photo of himself and Jim in better days. "Hate me if you want. But Harlem needed the truth. Loyalty ain't what y'all thought it was." Fans reposted it endlessly, some praising him for exposing lies, others condemning him for cruelty. And then the celebrity reactions rolled in, amplifying the chaos. Remy Ma tweeted, "This some whole other level betrayal. I don't even want to believe it." Charlemagne thought God went on The Breakfast Club and declared, "This is bigger than love and hip-hop." This is Harlem history unraveling in real time. Even Funk Flex weighed in with a late-night rant. "Harlem can't take this one. Jim my brother, but Cam out here airing wounds that'll never heal." Chrissy got the city looking crazy. Meanwhile, Chrissy's name was dragged deeper into the mud. Brands began scrubbing her image from campaigns. A reality TV deal she had been negotiating was reportedly put on hold. Paparazzi stalked her every move, but she stayed hidden, refusing to break her silence, and the silence only fueled speculation. Was she negotiating with Jim behind closed doors? Was she preparing a bombshell statement to clear her name? Or was she simply waiting, hoping the internet would eventually turn its attention elsewhere? But it didn't, because just when the frenzy seemed to peak, another anonymous source surfaced. This one dropped a series of alleged text messages between Cam and Chrissy, messages that painted the entire situation in an even darker light. The screenshots showed Chrissy begging Cam to keep quiet. "Please don't do this. Jim can't. Take it, you'll destroy him." Cam's replies were brutal. "Truth hurts. He should have known. I'm not the bad guy here." Whether the texts were authentic or fabricated didn't matter. The damage was done. Fans believed them. Blogs ran with them. And the narrative shifted once again. Maybe Cam wasn't just exposing the truth. Maybe he was enjoying the destruction. Jim's tears had become the symbol of this entire scandal. Clips of him breaking down on livestream replayed endlessly, fans using them as proof of his devastation. Memes mocked him, while others expressed sympathy. But the overwhelming message was clear. Jim Jones had been betrayed in a way no man should ever endure by the woman he loved, and by someone within his closest circle. The city was divided. Harlem old heads defended Jim, saying Cam crossed a line that should have never been touched. Younger fans, hungry for drama, praised Cam for his raw honesty. The culture itself seemed split in two, torn between loyalty and truth, between family and betrayal. And then came the moment that turned this scandal into an unstoppable firestorm. A final recording surfaced, allegedly leaked from a phone call between Jim and Cam. In it, Jim's voice was raw, broken, shaking with rage. "You ruined me, Cam. You took everything I had and dragged it through the streets. I don't care if it's true or not. You killed me." Cam's reply, cold, steady, merciless. "I didn't kill you, Jim. She did." That single exchange reverberated across every platform. TikTok exploded with dramatic reenactments. Twitter ran non-stop debates. Instagram lives erupted into shouting matches over who was right and who was wrong. The culture wasn't just watching anymore, they were living inside the scandal. And still, Chrissy said nothing. The silence became unbearable. Fans demanded answers. They begged for interviews, statements, even denials. But Chrissy stayed hidden as if every word would only make things worse. Some claimed she was preparing to speak exclusively on a major platform. Others insisted she would never address it at all. But one thing was certain, the damage was irreversible. The fairy tale of Jim and Chrissy had crumbled into ash. Their legacy